Hey, what is up guys? It is your boy Buffalo with a new video. This one's a little different than my other stuff. It's like top 10 musicians I would love to collaborate with in a video for gaming and stuff. Now, in my top 10 is Days and Days. They were in my top 10, they're like in my top 5. They're amazing. And I've actually done something with them before, which is why they're not in this video, but they are up there, just to let you guys know. But yeah. Let's start off with number 10, which is the band Brockhampton. Or the boy band Brockhampton. Now, I got into them, my buddy Jeremy, when I used to work at this call center. He got me into them because he was playing them in the car, and I was like, oh, what's this? He's like, oh, it's Brockhampton, they're pretty good. And I got into them right before Saturation 2 came out. So I haven't technically been listening to them for very long, but they are really good. It would be really cool to hang out with any of them, you know? And if you don't know, Brockhampton is kind of this independent hip-hop, boy band that came out of Texas, and now they're in, California. They just signed to a record label, which is pretty dope. They had their own show on Viceland, really. Or it was mostly just for Kevin Abstract, but, you know, screw that, they're all good. You know, sometimes you need a like, face holder for a group and stuff, kind of like Odd Future was Tyler, the creator, and he was the breakout guy and whatnot. But they're all pretty unique in their own way, and I like that dynamic. Like, they could do solo stuff, which they do solo stuff, but I wouldn't like them to all split up, you know? Just like I didn't like how Odd Future kind of all split up. But yeah, more about Odd Future later. It would be really good to play with them because of how their takes on life are a little bit different, each one of them. You can kind of hear it in their music. Like, for instance, the most political one of them all, which is kind of crazy, is Merlin. He would be awesome to just sit there and talk about politics with him, because he goes from rapping about something small to an issue in one verse, and it's great. Like Sweet. Sweet is a great example of that. It would be pretty good. Now, like, and the styles that they have, like the styles of their rapping and stuff. Like, personally, the one that I think I would really chill with is Joba, just because of the similarities in, I think, mine and his personality. Kind of quiet in the background, kind of melodic. Even in interviews, he's really quiet and in the background, which is kind of like I am. So that's my favorite guy in the group. They're all great. It's just that I would kind of vibe with him the most. But yeah. Number 9 is Panic at the Disco. Now, Panic at the Disco doesn't just refer to Brendan Urie. I'm talking about everybody that's in Panic. Freaking Brendan, Ryan, Dallin, who was in Panic here or there. Yeah, Brendan, Ryan, Dallin, John, the new guy, I forgot his name. I think his name's Jonathan, actually. Jonathan Harris or whatever. He's the bassist, or the guitarist now, that Dallin left. But all of them, anybody that's involved in Panic, would be pretty cool to sit back and talk to about love and life and everything in between. Like, it would be just really cool, because I know Brendan's a really big pot smoker and stuff, to just hear his stories while high, you know? That would be kind of cool, to get that information and see what's going on. But yeah, number 8 is Phil Collins. Now, if you don't know who Phil Collins is, you need to leave my channel. Don't ever talk to me again. Phil Collins is the best artist, in my opinion, to come out of music, out of any generation. Now, you know, like, even before that, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, those are pretty big. But in my opinion, Phil Collins is the best. I used to listen to him all the time as a kid. Hall & Oates is pretty good as well. Like, they're number 2 from the 80s, you know? But Phil Collins has a special place in my heart. It would be dope, even though he's like an older guy, it would be dope to just sit back and talk about stuff with him. You know? Like, how it was growing up back then when he grew up, and getting fame back then when he was getting famous and stuff. Because you know how, like, nowadays everybody, this is no offense to him with what I'm about to say, everybody's got the perfect smile, the perfect look, and then there's Phil Collins, who just makes sick-ass music, and you can't really fight anything he says because he's dope. You know? I'm not saying he's ugly, he's a good-looking guy. I was going to say good looking for English, and I was going to get really made fun of for saying that. But yeah, is this circle? Oh, okay. He just seems like a really cool dude to learn about the past and stuff, you know? Number 7 is Jeff Rosenstock, or Bomb the Music Industry as well. Now, Jeff Rosenstock came from Bomb the Music Industry, which is a band from New York, reppin' New York, obviously. But yeah, Jeff Rosenstock created a couple of things, like, one of my favorite songs is by him that I'm kind of nervous I can't remember it. Pashrash is one of them. Like, Pashrash is amazing, but he just seems like the cool dude you could just sit and talk about life with and drink with and stuff. It would be pretty dope to do a video with, you know? Shout out to Jeff Rosenstock. Honestly, pretty dope guy. And I was showing my mom, who's from New York, pictures of him and what he looks like and stuff. She's like, I think he was in our town growing up and stuff. So that was kind of funny if he's from the town I'm from, which is Rocky Point. Number 6 is Psy. Now, Psy is the Gangnam Style guy, you know? Kind of big in South Korea, like the biggest artist, I think, out of South Korea. But he's really interesting. With number 5 is Weezer. No, that's the whole band. Weezer is an amazing band, which is kind of funny. My brother's, I'm 21, so he's 40. My brother grew up on Weezer, and so did I, which is kind of funny that we never knew that we liked Weezer until I found, when I was like 13, after listening to Weezer for a little bit, I found an album by them in the attic that my mom still had some of his stuff left over from, and it was really cool figuring that out. And it's like, it's a bootleg version of the music, and it says, don't pirate again, and it has like a signature, which I think is one of them, which is kind of funny. But Weezer's pretty good. They, I grew up with them a lot, El Scrocho and stuff. They kind of aren't as big now, like everybody's like, oh, Weezer. But they're still really dope to like cling into. When you get the days, like I get some days where I just typed in Weezer and I listen to We Are All on Drugs, Hash Pipe, freaking Perfect Situation, all the, like, everything by them is pretty dope. That would be kind of dope to sit back and talk to them. Number 4 is Daft Punk. Daft Punk is one of the most amazing artists group in the world. I've listened to them for years. Now, when I first got on the internet on YouTube, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger just kind of came out with Daft Hands, Daft Bodies, I think that was the other one was called. The original popular videos. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, to be honest. I honestly thought like it was the coolest song in the world. And I still think they're really good. The fact that they change themselves every album to be something very good and different is just really good. Every single one of their stuff is amazing. It'd be kind of dope, even though they're really private, away from releasing a song or an album or whatever. They're very privated, but they're pretty good. Like, I would love them to do you know how Tyler the Creator has the carnival? They would fit perfectly into that scene too. I'm just saying. If they had a Daft Punk carnival, like, oof, it would be dope. Daft Punk, just a very, also they're very influential to everything nowadays, you know? They're very good. Like The Weeknd, when The Weeknd, I didn't like The Weeknd that much. I was like, ah, it's another soul, whatever. And then he did stuff with Daft Punk, and I kind of went back and listened to some of The Weeknd stuff. I was like, oh, this is really good. And I was sadly mistaken of how good he was. Now, these are the top 3. Again, they're all loved equally, but these guys are amazing. Number 3 is Post Malone. Now, Post Malone, I love this, because he legitimately went from playing, there's a video on YouTube of him playing music in the background of 2 of his friends playing Minecraft to the highest streamed person on Spotify. He was up there, number 1. That's just, it gives hope for everybody, you know? His music's pretty fucking dope too. I can't wait for Beer Bongs and Bentleys to come out, which I think comes out tomorrow. because today's 26th. I think it comes out on the 27th or the 28th. I'm not sure. But that's pretty dope. I might be staying up tonight just for the midnight release of him. And I like the direction he's going in. I get this vibe from him that he kind of joined in like the rap scene, the hip hop scene, to make a foothold, and now he's gonna go somewhere else with it. And I really like that. I like a band that, like, I'm gonna mention Panic. They came in with the emo scene, right? Amazing techno emo, and then they went to Pretty Odd, which is all folk. And there was that big gap, and I think that's what's gonna be Post Malone's gonna do, which I would not be pissed off about at all. Just like Panic, I would say, because Panic, I wouldn't mind Post Malone doing a more rock-oriented album and then go back to rap, and then rock, and then rap, kind of like what Panic does. They go kind of orchestral, old school, kind of like what they did in Fever, You Can't Sweat Out, and then the next album is kind of like more mainstream and to pop and stuff, and then they take a step back. Like for instance, Fever, kind of like emo scene, you know. Then you know what I mean. Pretty Odd was kind of different, and then they went to Vices and Virtues, which is kind of back to Fever. Then they went from there to Too Weird to Live, Too Young to Die. And then they went into a more pop with, I mean, they went back to how they were with Death of a Bachelor. Now they're going more pop, I think, with Pray for the Wicked. I don't mean to talk about Panic that much, but that's what I want Post to do, is to do a kind of rap, hip-hop oriented album, and then go to more rock, or more what he was inspired by, because, you know, his cover of All Apologies is amazing, you know? And there's video out there of him doing country music too, which is pretty good, in my opinion. Like, I respect that. That's pretty dope. Just tease any streams as well, I think, so it'd be a perfect fit, I think. 1 second, somebody's on me. Bye-bye. Okay. Number 2 is Tyler the Creator. And that's Tyler the Creator and all of Odd Future as well. Odd Future, you know, kind of like Brockhampton, they came out as a group and they all kind of split up, sadly. I wish they didn't, as bad as they did. Supposedly, Tyler said there's no more OF, and Okra that he released, which is kind of saddening, because they were pretty dope. Like everybody, Haji, Jasper, Lionel, even people that didn't make music were pretty dope. Loiter Squad was my ish as a kid. I listened to the hell out of them. They were really good. And they would just, I'm always focusing on Tyler because I think he came from I'm just going to say he came from a very depressed place, you know, and I came from a very depressed place in my life at that time that I found him. It was right after Goblin came out is when I started listening to them. I'm just like, this is kind of what I need, which kind of I think is a predecessor to me loving folk punk so much, like Days and Days, Pat the Bunny, all of them, but in the rap scene, you know. And all of his music now is very beautiful. Like Flower Boy is amazing. It's one of the best albums I think out there for last year, you know. Didn't win any mainstream success, but it is a very influential album, I think, for the future music of the year. Arguably better than Damn, I will say, by Kendrick Lamar. Even though Kendrick Lamar is amazing, his music is pretty amazing, I think Flower Boy takes a more spiritual approach that I really appreciate. And it would be dope to collaborate, just sit down with for like a YouTube video or whatever. And number 1 is my favorite band, my first love band, where I listen to all their stuff no matter what. And the reason why I found them is because I'm not telling the band just yet. I was visiting my nephew, and my brother was playing music, and my nephew starts like getting really happy in the back seat, and it's this band. And I'm like, what is that? And Keith, my brother, whose name is Keith, goes, I'll show you when we get back. And we pop on the laptop, and he plays the music video, and there's this like girl with orange hair. And I'm like, what is this? And then my nephew is like, girl with the orange hair, and he starts dancing. And It's Paramore, if you haven't guessed. It was a Misery Business. Got into Misery Business and Riot was released. But I've loved everything by them ever since. And everybody in the group, Haley, Zach, Josh, Jeremy, Taylor, you know, anybody that was in the band was amazing in their own right. Like Zach Farrow, what he went on to do, Half Noise, is pretty dope. What Josh went on to do, I can't remember the name of the band, but they were pretty good. Jeremy, even though he left the band and there's like some bad blood, I would say, he did pretty good as well. Taylor's amazing. Haley was my first celebrity crush as well, which is kind of funny. Again, I grew up in the emo scene and I fell in love with the bands. But yeah, number one is Paramore. It would be pretty dope. All of them would be dope to like get something set up with them. And if you are watching this video, anybody in this group or knows them personally, hook me up. It would be dope. So it's even like speak to them. I don't even need to record and put it on YouTube. Just to be like, hey, it's pretty dope to meet you or play with you. This is more than enough, you know. But yeah. I would thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna splice some of it, maybe cut this to make it a little bit better. But yeah, next week there will be another top 10 preps, and I think I'm gonna do top 10 celebrities that passed away that I would love to do stuff with, and it would include musicians and celebrities. But yeah, thank you guys so much. See ya. Hey, thanks for checking out my channel. Sincerely, no jokes, no anything. I really appreciate it. I'm doing these ad rolls at the end. I hope you like it, but thank you so much if you watched. I would appreciate a like, a subscription, and sharing it off to your buddies. But thank you again.